Hello and welcome on my channel. This is Bit and today I'm gonna talk you through my project Impulse Response, which appears on the Stardust EP, and I think we should start with the main sequence, which appears all over the song, so it's basically everywhere since the beginning. It's working based on the Hybrid 3 Summer Dream preset. Without audio inserts and equalization, it sounds like this. So a nice melody sequence, but it's pretty boring, and apart from these octave jumps, nothing really happens here. And so it's important to spice it up with some equalization and effects. Well, we're not exactly gonna spice it up. We are gonna cut a lot of that low end, and we are also gonna cut a lot of the high and mid frequencies, which just interfere a lot with the other instruments and don't sound this clean. So what I did, I just cut them off. To spice up the signal, I put a maximizer and a compressor on this little sequence, followed by the A1 trigger gate by Alex Hilton, which is one of my favorite plugins, because you can create sidechain effects so easily with that. You don't even need to set up a compressor with a sidechaining input. It's just one knob, one plugin, and I absolutely love that. After the trigger gate, we also got another compressor, which is set up as a sidechain and is being activated by the kick, as you can see right here. After that, we got some equalization to cut off some frequencies again and boost the high end. Boosting the high end makes it a little harsh, especially on these high octave jumps. So it was important to round it up a little bit with a multiband compressor, which is set up in order to smooth out those high frequencies. After that, we got some stereo effects. So we got the Pancake by Cable Guys, also one of my favorite plugins. We also got a stereo enhancer to give it this wide feel. And also because we want this spacey vibe on the Stardust EP, of course we need some kind of reverb. This reverb is only working at 1%, but it definitely does its job. So without any equalization and insert effects, it sounds like this. And with all those effects, it sounds like this. So the next instrument that I would like to share with you is the bass, which is based on the Hybrid 3 preset Moog Bass Chorus. Without any effects, it sounds like this. So the first thing I did on this was to add another chorus. Well, you can never have enough chorus, right? So chorus followed by a compressor, which is again set up as a sidechain and always works when the kick comes in place. Then we got an EQ in order to filter out some annoying frequencies, followed by the max bass stereo just to give it a little more power. And then in order to sum it up, we got the neutron elements, and we got some equalization again on this, an exciter and a compressor finally. Without any effects, the instrument sounds like this. And with insert effects, it sounds like this. So we just gave it a lot more power. The purpose of the bass is also to create harmonics with the sequencer, because the sequencer alone sounds pretty, boring. And together with the bass, we just create those harmonics. The next elements of the song that I would like to show you are percussions. I did a lot of this with the BM Eden, which is a beat machine that can be used in order to create beats very fast and very easily by just pressing one of those keys. For example, if we need an intro, we just go with this key and it gives us a little intro sequence, a little beat. If we need a fill, we also got some of those. Eden can also be used as a sampler, so we also get the opportunity to access every element individually. And this is exactly what I did. I created a little hi-hat loop with this, which I'm going to show you right now. In order to get a little movement into the track. After a few bars, we also get in touch with the kick, which actually consists of 2 kicks, as you can see right here. This kick track is sidechaining into a lot of things, for example, into the main sequence and into the bass, also into the sub bass, in order to get this EDM sidechain feeling. We also got this little sub bass, which just plays the same notes as the real bass that I've shown you before, in order to support it. The way I set this up is the way I always set this up. Well, most of the time. I use this instrument, the TAL bassline, which I absolutely love. And then I pick the preset soft bass. Then I put a morph filter on it. And when I apply this, we only get the lowest frequencies. So everything that's belonging to the lower mid-range or above, it all gets cut out and we get a really clean, low frequency signal. So without the morph filter, it sounds like this. And with it, it sounds like this. You need good headphones or you need speakers in order to hear the difference. So a very nice, super low signal in order to support our main bass. Now I would like to move on and show you the voice segment, this little area here. And what I did here was to record my voice singing, panned it left and right, as you can see here, all the way to the right and all the way to the left. And I just recorded notes which together sound like this. Both of those signals are going into a group track. And the first thing I did here was to use a Renaissance X stereo, which is also one of my go-to plugins when it comes to when I just need to enhance a vocal track, and it works all the time, always brings the vocals up front and gives them a nice and warm feeling. Then we got a compressor, just a very simple setup. We again got the Alex Hilton trigger gate, which is working at 39%, and a setup as a sidechain. Then we again got a stereo enhancer, which is set to 200% in order to give it this spacey feeling. And finally, we got a Nectar 3 Elements plugin in here, which is just doing some basic enhancement, like getting some clarity, getting a little compression, and pitch correction, also called autotune. I also used Vari Audio on both of those tracks because I'm not that much of a singer, and in order to get a little robotic vibe here. Both of those tracks are getting supported by a Halion Sonic, which is set up with the R, choir and strings preset, and it's just supporting what I was singing right here. After 2 bars, this concept changes, and what we get is a dissonant feeling. So we are not having the same notes in both of those tracks, as you can hear right now. All those instruments that I've shown you before together sound like this. Now I would like to get to the next part of the song, and first I would like to show you the piano part, which in my opinion is one of those elements that really stand out in the song. So it all starts with a chord that is being reversed, as you can see right here. It's being reversed. If we reverse it again, we get the original chord. All of those piano tracks have been recorded with my Kawai piano, which I'm going to link in the description for those who are really interested in finding out more about it. And yeah, it's just many piano tracks moved on top of each other. Some are getting panned to the left and some are getting panned to the right in order to give them a really wide stereo feeling. And of course, all of those tracks are sending into a reverb effects channel. Together they sound like this. I would like to show you a technique that I've been using for the last half of this track in order to create something new out of something that we already have. So I used this plugin, Halftime. I took the Eden track, which has been created earlier on in this track. I took exactly this part here, put it into a new channel, converted it to audio, panned it to the left, and called it Eden Full-Time because halftime is not applied to this. It's actually applied to the track underneath it. So here we got this plugin, Halftime, which just gives it a new touch. And combined with the original sample, we get something new. I used the same technique on the bass track, so we also got a halftime effect right here, and I also used it on the sequencer. So we got another one, and I'm going to show you those tracks now individually with and without halftime. So we got the normal bass line that we already discussed, and this is what it sounds like with halftime. Same applies to the sequencer, so this is without halftime. The normal melody that we already discussed. And with halftime, we get something totally new. And together with the piano and with Eden, it sounds kind of like this. On the master track, I used Ozone in order to auto-detect problematic frequency areas which have been boosted or cut off by the plugin. And also we have got an Ultra Maximizer by Waves, which just applies some more loudness to the track. Okay guys, that was it. Thank you for watching this little breakdown of my track Impulse Response. Links to this track on SoundCloud or Spotify can be found in the description. Thank you for watching.